Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. So welcome to this orientation session of the Advanced Performance Management. My name is Luqman Rafiq and I will be your tutor for the course. A lot of you people have already studied with me, so you know me, and for a lot of you people I am a new tutor. So before I go on to discuss about the Advanced Performance Management, let me just give you a brief background about myself. This is Luqman Rafiq. I have been in teaching profession for more than 13 years now, and I've been teaching different qualifications including the ACCA, ICAEW, CIMA, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, and some other professional qualifications like Association of Corporate Treasurer and the CFA Level 1 courses. So I teach the financial management, financial reporting and performance management courses at the ACCA. I have stopped teaching the audit and assurance course because it was becoming a bit difficult for me to manage time. So I've just tried to reduce my scope of work now, and I'm now focused more on these three: financial management, performance management and the financial reporting areas. So let's start discussing about this advanced performance management. What are we actually going to do today? We are going to be discussing about, I repeat, we are going to be discussing about the APM course. We're going to be discussing the syllabus changes. We're going to be discussing the approach that the examiner adopts in order to test the APM. And then we shall be discussing the overall methodology that I will be following with respect to this APM course. So let's just start discussing. The first thing that you need to understand is that when we talk about this APM, I repeat, when we talk about this APM, it's Advanced Performance Management. And a lot of people, they find it difficult to understand the concept of performance management. Now what I actually tell people is that I say that assume that you are running a business. What I tell people is that I say that assume that you are running a business. And when you are running the business, so what is actually happening with respect to that business is that there are a lot of things that you would have to look after for that business. What are those things that you would have to look after? Every single aspect of the business, starting from the production, promotion, marketing, distribution, sales, finance, HR, IT, research, customer, suppliers, government, society, etc., etc., etc. So assume that, I mean, it's not an exhaustive list, there could be many more things, but I'm just giving a bit of an idea. Assume that you're running your own business, and when you're running your own business, there are a lot of things that you would have to consider. What are those lot of things that you would have to consider? You need to understand this thing that you got to look after every single aspect of the business, whether that be manufacturing a product, packaging it, distributing it, marketing it, selling it, recovering money, raising finance for the business, managing IT department, managing research, managing technology, managing HR, many things that you would have to manage for a business. So when we talk about the Advanced Performance Management course, the Advanced Performance Management course has got the concept of performance management. And what is performance management? The performance management simply means that you got to ensure, the performance management simply means that you got to ensure that an organization is able to achieve its goals. What happens is that the organization is able to achieve its goal. The organization is able to achieve its objectives. That is what performance management is all about. Now, let's just start discussing. So basically, When you understand what running a business involves, you would easily understand performance management. In this course of advanced performance management, almost every single aspect of the business, whether how to manage the relationship with suppliers, how to ensure the marketing department functions, how to ensure the finances are managed, how to ensure the human resource is being kept motivated, how to ensure that the IT upgradations take place on the relevant time, every single aspect is part and parcel of the course. So when we would be discussing about this performance management, we are going to be discussing every single aspect of running the business. Now, it is something that every one of you understand that in order for us to be able to do the APM course, obviously there is a brought forward knowledge from the PM that would be used. And then there is going to be a brought forward knowledge from the management accounting that would also be used. So it's actually the performance management, the management accounting, all of this knowledge is translated into the APM. But there's a very interesting relationship, and that is the relationship with the SBL. The SBL knowledge is also tested at the APM level. I repeat, the SBL knowledge is also tested at the APM level. So when you would be doing the APM, you would have to keep this thing in mind, that the SBL knowledge would also be part and parcel of the APM course. So a lot of you people might not have attempted SBL till now. That's okay, not an issue, because I would be teaching APM in a manner that I know this thing, that I would assume you have not studied SBL. I would assume that you have not studied the performance management. I would even recall the topics, recall the basics of the performance management, because I know this thing for sure, that as a student you need revisions. As a student you need support. As a student you need guidance. That is something that I know. So I would inshallah be providing you with respect to those guidance. Now, if I move a bit forward and if I take you through this APM course, let me just guide you people through the syllabus areas, that what are the major areas of the syllabus. Let's try to understand this thing. You have got in front of you this APM grid, where there are basically 4 or 5 sections that are there. One of them is about the strategic planning and control. The second thing is about the performance management information systems and developments in technology. The third thing is about strategic performance measurement. And the fourth one of them is about performance evaluation. These two areas, which is the professional skills and the employability skills, I'm going to talk about them a bit later. But let's just start off, and let's just start in general that what these 4 areas of the syllabus are. The first one of them is strategic planning and control. The name is itself suggesting a strategic. A strategic means at the top of the organization, the board level, the chief executives, the chief operating officers, the BODs, the chairman board of directors, things like that, the strategic level. So strategic planning and control. So the factors, the techniques, the approach, the things that are considered at the strategic level with respect to planning, that is something that we would be discussing. That is something that we would be considering. The second thing is about the control. It's not just about planning. It's not just about creating strategies. It's not just about creating business plan. It's about controlling the performance also. You create a plan that we would increase our sales by 10 times in the next 5 years. But after all, what you see after 2 years is your sales has only increased marginally. So the control is that take an action, take a corrective action. It's not just about planning, it's about controlling it also. So over here, we would be discussing the different tools, the different methodologies, the different ways of planning strategically. That's what we would be doing. And similarly, how to undertake the control actions just to make sure that we don't miss out on the targets that we have set out while planning. So we'll be discussing different models, we would be discussing different techniques when we would be going through this strategic planning and control area. Second is that performance management information systems and development in technology. Now see, what happens is that what you could see right now, I'm teaching in front of you. I don't have anyone in front of me right now as a student, and believe me, when you don't see a student in front of you, your motivation level goes down. You as a tutor cannot just give 100% output if you don't get to see a student sitting in front of you. You people have not switched on your videos. I cannot see you, but still I'm delivering. I'm delivering in a motivated manner. Why? Because when I have a feeling that you can see me, my output is altogether different. Earlier when the COVID started, I mean, we have been teaching online since 2012, but still, if I compare our performance in 2012 and if I compare what we are delivering right now in 2023, it's a huge difference. But still, at the start of COVID, when I was actually delivering the lectures with just a screen and I knew that the students could not see me, my motivation level was not like that. I could not deliver in that manner. Over a period of time, there was an introduction of webcam. We introduced webcam, we adapted webcam, but now what you are looking at is a chroma technology. Many of the organizations are still struggling to have this, but we have adapted to this technology, and I could feel the difference in my teaching. I could feel the difference in my approach, the difference in my delivery. Why is that so? It's basically the adaptation of the technology. So every single organization nowadays, if they don't adapt to the technology, they are left behind. If they don't adapt to the technology, they are left behind. So as an organization, it's very important that you get to have an idea that what are the latest developments in technology, how they could be adapted, how they could give you a competitive advantage, and what are the things that you should adapt, what are the things that you should not adapt. Organizations in the upcoming days would be adapting the artificial intelligence. Many things of the artificial intelligence tools would be adapted or integrated. But there is obviously has to be a break, because you need to consider the cost benefit advantage also. So like what happens is that the second part of this APM course is you need to understand that what are the management information system, how the information flows across the organization, what are the different aspects of information that should be communicated, how they should be communicated, to whom they should be communicated. That's what we would be discussing in these different techniques. And then secondly, how to adapt the technology, how to adapt the technological development into these things to make sure that you are being able to stay up to the mark, stay up to the environmental, stay up to the competition. The third thing is about the strategic performance measurement. A very important area is that, see, if I tell you that if you attend my classes, if you attend my lectures, and if we give a certificate to you that you have attended all the lectures, the ACCA will give you a pass in APM. So what would happen? You would attend the lecture, for sure you would attend the lecture, but you would be sleeping while doing the lecture, or you would just probably log into the class and have the lecture playing, and you would be just doing your own works. Why? Because you know this thing that nobody is looking at you. All that formality needed is that you just have to attend the class. But when you know that you have to actually sit in the examination, pass the examination, so automatically what happens is that you prepare for the exam. You go for the exam. If you are being told no exams, just a pass, everyone is going to pass, nobody is going to study. So when it comes to the performance measurement is simply quantifying the performance. What do you mean by this? This is simply quantifying the performance. So you are actually quantifying the performance. You are actually quantifying the performance. That's what the strategic performance measurement is. That you have to measure the performance of the organization, and at the strategic level, you would have to introduce the different performance measures, whether that be the financial performance measures, whether that be the non-financial performance measures. So what we would be discussing in this specific area of the course is that we would be talking about that what are the different financial management financial measures, what are the different non-financial measures, what could be the appropriate measures in this given scenario, what could be an inappropriate measure in the given scenario. So we'll be learning that, we'll be focusing on that. Then fourth one of them is about performance evaluation. When we talk about the performance evaluation, it's like when you have measured, you evaluate. Is it a good performance? Is it a bad performance? Why is it a good performance? Why is it a bad performance? How could this performance be improved? How could this performance be enhanced? Etc, etc, etc. That is all considered to be performance evaluation. So basically what you would have to do is that you would have to consider this also. So now when I talk about these four areas, you start off what? Strategically, plan, then monitor. At the same time, ensure that the information flows across the organization. Ensure that the technology is being adapted. The third thing that you would have to do is that you would have to introduce performance measures to measure the performance. And then you would have to go for evaluation of the performance, that how is the performance, how is the organization performing. You would have to go about it. You get it? So basically, these are the four important aspects of the performance management APM course, and you would have to consider these aspects. Now, when we would actually go through the course areas, you would realize this thing, that amongst these different aspects of the performance management, what is actually happening is that there are different models, there are different techniques, there are different approaches, etc, etc. All of these things are available, and all of these things are actually part and parcel of it. You get my point? All of these things are available, and all of these things are actually part and parcel. So we'd be going about it, what we would be actually going about each and every aspect of this, which is we're going to be discussing different models, applying them to the given scenario, different techniques, the different approaches, etc, etc. All of this is going to be part and parcel of it. Now, in addition to the syllabus areas, there is this professional skills, and you would realize this thing, that ACCA has recently introduced these professional skills as part and parcel of ACCA has introduced these professional skills in the different subjects. So I think every strategic professional level paper except for the SBR has got these professional skills, which constitute approximately 20 marks. Now for the APM course, 5 mark here, 5 mark here, 5 mark here, 5 mark here. Now what are these four skills? What are these four professional skills? And how exactly can you get marks for this? So first and the foremost thing is that I tell students that if you are not going to be technically sound, you cannot get the professional skills marks. I repeat, if you are not going to be technically sound, you cannot get the professional skills mark. The professional skill mark can only be obtained if you are technically sound. That's important. Now try to understand. The 5 marks are there for communication. What do you mean by communication? So you get questions where you have to write a report. There is a certain format of the report, which is it has a header, which is a starting point, to, from, subject, etc. Introduction paragraph. Then there is this main body. Then there is this conclusion. Now, this is one aspect of communication. The second aspect of communication is how you have put across your things, how you have put across the arguments, how you have actually presented the information, how you have structured the answer. That is all going to be part and parcel of communication. That's number one. The second thing is analysis and evaluation. When we talk about the analysis and evaluation, what is this going to be? Analysis is a skill which is very important skill, and this skill would be analyzing the data. That could be financial data, that could be non-financial data. It's like interpreting that data and then actually creating an opinion on that data, that what is that data suggesting. That's what analysis and evaluation is going to be. Third is skepticism, questioning attitude. Happens a lot of times. The examiner may have given you a scenario of a business expansion, an expansion into XYZ industry, and the assumptions that they might have used may be unrealistic. As a student, if you read out a scenario, you would have to challenge those assumptions. That's a reflection of his skepticism. The examiner is overly optimistic, suggesting overly optimistic thing for certain organization. You might actually have to challenge that. That's your skepticism. That don't be over optimistic. Things like that. Lastly, commercial acumen, which is your suggestions, your recommendations should make commercial sense. You have to consider the cost benefit analysis. You have to consider that what is going to be commercially viable for the entity and what is going to be not commercially viable for the entity. So your suggestions, your arguments would have to cover that. So basically 20 marks are for this, and when I teach, every time students they ask how to get professional marks. So I tell them that look, professional marks would come automatically if you develop technical skills. Once you develop technical skills, what do you mean by technical skills? That is to get an idea about the course, they get an idea about the curriculum, that what the curriculum is, what the course is. Once you get an idea, automatically you would be able to get those professional skills. You get my point? Now, so how exactly are we going to cover up this advanced performance management course? Let me just guide you people a bit. In order for us to be able to cover up this advanced performance management course, our approach is that we go about with the online blended lectures, which is, it's a mixture of live and it's a mixture of recorded sessions. There is going to be a planner that we would share with you. Plus this time round, we have some teaching assistants on board. So you would actually be provided the assignments which you could submit to us, and we could review those assignments, and we could just, there are going to be assignments that are going to be submitted. We have got teaching assistants who could directly or who could regularly give an opinion on themselves, that how have you performed, or etc, etc. Then what actually happens is that there is going to be a dedicated WhatsApp group. Plus what happens is that you will be getting a mock plus the live revisions. In last month before exam, that is what all is going to be there. So inshallah, this APM is going to be an amazing experience for you people. But believe me, you are going to pass APM course if you actually practice past paper questions as much as possible, because APM requires a lot of, I repeat, the APM requires a lot of question practice. Why? Because the scenarios are very general and you don't know that how are you going to get marks. So if you want to get marks, if you want to get good marks, it's quite important that you actually practice past paper question. The more you practice past paper question, the better your approach is going to be, the better your preparation is going to be. Get my point? Okay, so whatever that I had to explain, I have explained to you. What I would want you people to do is that in case if any one of you have got any questions to ask, anything to discuss, you are most welcome to ask. I will be happy to answer. You have got the chats enabled. If you want to ask anything, you can ask. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, I can even allow you people to okay, unmute yourself. Okay, let me just change a bit of the security settings. Okay, you can ask whatever questions that you have. You can unmute yourself also. Okay, there is a question that's being asked. Number one, Could you please throw some light on syllabus changes? Okay, Rohit Mehra, thank you for asking this question. Not significant, but still, let's just try to go through it. Okay, here you go. Basically, no removals. It's just that one of the areas of the syllabus, it says, has been extended upon, and the learning outcome A2 has been added up. So not much of a change, a bit of amendment, that's it. Okay, can you please tell us more about the planner? Taimur Khan, inshallah, will be available by tomorrow. Okay, Yash Nirmal, yes, I'll be covering the new technical articles. I am actually planning to create a video for every technical article that's available. Marshall, the best reading materials is going to be technical articles plus, like the examiner's answers, that's it. Okay, who else? Do you have any other questions to ask, please? Or before I conclude the session for the day? Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead. Okay, what I would actually tell you is that, this BPP and the Kaplan, they are good if you have got time, right? But generally the students, they don't have much of a time. So I would actually suggest that you focus upon going through the lectures plus the technical articles. And then the third thing that I would suggest you to do is to practice as many past paper questions as possible. So if you've got ample amount of time, good enough, but generally no, it's not necessary. Yes, whatever the question based revisions that we will make available, that's made available free of cost to you people. The students who would enroll for those, they would be charged, but for the extensive course, that would be made available free of cost. Okay, inshallah, in the coming week, we'll be having a live session. I've prepared a planner for the live classes. I'll just share that probably by tomorrow. Okay, Vivek Sethi, are you a full-time student planning to do two papers? Because you see, attempting 2 papers is a challenge. So if you are a full-time student, take up that challenge. If you are not a full-time student, don't take up the challenge. SBL, attempting SBL would surely help. But at the same time, even if you have not done SBL, you could still get through this APM course. Okay, do one by one, Vivek, then do one by one. Okay, Rehana started studying. How many hours do I need to study? Okay, I would ideally suggest 8 hours a week. 8 hours a week, but 8 hours does not mean that it has to be non-dedicated time. Give dedicated time. Do 1.5 hours every day. We have got mobile apps, we have got desktop apps. Everything is available from Scriber. So you could just even download our mobile app also. We have an Android app right now. The iOS app is, we have applied for the approval with Apple. So hopefully, inshallah, it will be available soon too. Hi. Okay, any other questions that you people have? Yes, please go ahead. Mm-hmm. Okay. I could remember that you had a discussion with me, and I told you that we would allow you. Just message our team on the WhatsApp. You have the WhatsApp number, right? So just message our team on the WhatsApp. They will do it. And in case if they ask for any charges, just tell them that you've spoken to Sir Luqman. So they would automatically ask me a question that have you allowed her? So I'd prove that yes, I have allowed her. You're most welcome. Okay, anyone else having any other question, please? Okay. Thanks for asking this question. Rohit, basically we are transiting onto a new system. Inshallah, it will be, I mean, like it's already live in a beta phase with us. We have not launched it to the students yet. So what we have done is that there is an integrated platform with the similar to ACCA CB practice platform. But till the time that is not live, we have teaching assistants who have been appointed. So you will be able to submit those assignments to an email address that we will actually give you people, and you would actually be getting a response by that email address. But once we are live onto the new system, you would actually be submitting it on the system and not onto any email. I mean, like probably by the end of this week, we are targeting to be live with the new portal so that you could do directly on the ACCA CB similar type of examination platform. Every question I have got an answer drafted, and they are being uploaded on that Dropbox link also, which has been shared with you. There is a huge list of every single question that I've attempted. I've made available the answers also. Yeah, you might actually check, and just in case if you're not able to find out, just message on the group. Our team will just make it available. You're most welcome. Okay guys, thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for being here. Yes, inshallah Rehana, you'll be able to do it. Okay guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. Thank you for joining in. It was great to have you here, and thank you all for asking questions, especially Rohit. The questions that you would have asked, probably other students would have had the same questions, but they probably were not asking. So your questions would have surely helped others also. Thanks a lot.